This is topic 5.4, and in 5.4 we're going to be using some skills that we learned earlier in mental math, and we're going to transfer them into multiplying multi-digit numbers. And just as a reminder, we're working on standard NB4 B5, and we're going to multiply a whole number of up to 4 digits by a 1-digit whole number, and multiply 2-digit numbers using strategies based on place value and the properties of operations. And we're also going to be able to illustrate and explain the calculation by using equations, rectangular arrays, and or area models. All right, so we have an example right here, and they're asking us to find 3 times 18 mentally. Evan rode his bicycle for 18 miles each day for 3 days. How many miles did he ride his bicycle in all? So we know we have 3 days. Each day he rode 18 miles. So we know we're going to have 3 times 18. Now, it's a little bit of a daunting mathematical expression. It's not part of our times tables or anything to memorize 3 times 18. So what we're going to do is we're going to think of numbers that are close to 18 that we can do in our head. So 18 is very close to 20. So we can do 3 times 20, right? We know we can do that because we learned in the last topics that simply we just multiply 3 times 2 and it's 6, and then we add the 0. So we know that is 60. But that's not exactly right, okay? We still have 2 groups of, we increased 18 by 2. So we have to compensate for that in this answer right here. So 2 groups of 3 would be 6. So then we have to subtract 6 from this answer right here, and we come up with 54. Now, we subtract it because we made this number, the 18, larger. Okay? If you make it smaller, then of course you would add on to it. But we took the 18 and we made it 20. So we increased it by 2. So that would be 2 times 3 is 6. And we subtract that and we got 54. So we know that 3 times 18 is 54. All right. May seem a little bit confusing. Hopefully not. Let's take a look at another example, or a couple more examples right here. All right. And let's put these 2 examples up here. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the 6 times 104 first. Alright, so 6 times 104, a little bit difficult to do mentally, but we know that 6 times, we could break this apart, right? This number apart, we could break it into 6 times 100 and then 6 times 4. We can do that in our head. So 6 times 100, we know, equals 600, because remember we did 6 times 1 and then add the 2 zeros, 600. Okay, so we know that. And we also know that 6 times 4 equals 24. Oops. And then we can simply add 600 plus 24 is 624. All right, so that one's fairly easy. Okay. Now, in this one, it's a little bit more daunting. You have 394. It's tough to do mentally. But if we take a look at it, this number is very, very close to 400, is it not? It's only 6 away from 400. So what we could do is we could multiply 2 times 400. All right, 2 times 400. And that we know that equals 800 because we do 2 times 4 equals 8 and then add the 2 zeros. So this is 800. All right. We know that. But we've increased this number by 6. So this answer is not exactly correct. So we have to compensate for the number that we changed right here. So as we said before, 394 is 6 greater than 400, or excuse me, 6 less than 400, right? So we're going to have to multiply 2 times 6, and that equals 24. So we're going to have to subtract. We're going to have to take the 800 and then compensate for that by subtracting 24. Okay, so of course we can't. Okay, so we start out 4 from 10 is 6, 2 from 9 is 7, and I have the 7 right here. So our answer is 776, and we did that mentally. All right, so this is called compensation, and it's important to know that if this number, to make it easier, if you increase it, if you go larger, you have to subtract from this answer. In this case, we made it smaller, so we had to add. We actually had to add the 24 here. All right, so that's compensation. Hope this helps.